Hey, what's up everybody? This is Fall Cake and welcome to my video talking about the Black Ops 6 campaign. As you know, it's October 25th, so it's the global launch day for Black Ops 6, and I finished the campaign yesterday, October 24th. I took a nice little day trip to New Zealand, I played the campaign just to get it out of the way with, and I had so much fun with it, and I just want to share my thoughts. So, getting this out of the way, the campaign is really good. I loved it. There were a few little nitpicks in areas I'll go over later, but for right now, let's go over the general plot and story of the game. So, the plot of Black Ops 6 is you are playing as a character named Case. This is a silent protagonist, just kind of like Bell from Cold War, and you're basically working in a covert Black Ops group. You can't tell, I just did air quotes. You're working in like a covert, like military group to investigate this hallucinogenic drug called the Cradle that's being produced and used by this disavowed military group called the Pathian. And it is a big point of contention about the Pathian and like and yeah, you're basically just trying to like go through the missions, figure out more about the Cradle, the Pathian, and just trying to stop them from unleashing the Cradle virus in America. I want to get into the time period as well. There are a few missions in the Middle East. So this game does take place in 1991, 2 years after the whole Panama incident with Raul Menendez, Woods, Mason, Hudson. And I think the missions taking place in the Middle East do a really good job at reflecting that. It's not like Cold War's campaign where it was like really 80s inspired, where you had like Reagan talking to our main characters, telling them, go stop those Russians from starting a nuclear war. It wasn't like that, because you're working in a small group and not with the CIA or the US government. You're on your own in this campaign. But yeah, those missions actually were very well made. My first nitpick though is I am not a fan of the open world missions. I didn't buy Modern Warfare 3 campaign, but I heard they had a lot of open world missions, and this was basically my first exposure to it, and I thought it was okay. Like, I didn't hate it, but it really dragged on. But the second half of that mission, where you're storming Saddam Hussein's palace and like killing all the Pathians and like his guards and private military and stuff, that shit's really cool. And you have to hold out on the roof of the palace till like a helicopter can get in, like extract you. That's sick as fuck. Some of the other missions basically just include like some your standard shooting missions. But I will say, this campaign had a lot of like those Cold War style missions where you're kind of walking around, interacting with the characters, and trying to like figure out, like go through a plan instead of just going into a building, shooting all the bad guys, and then getting your goal and then getting out. There's like a lot of planning, there's like alternate choices. Like, I want to give you an example. There's a casino mission, right? And you're basically playing as like all the characters. So for like Marshall, you gotta like play poker to win the high table, and then with Felix, you gotta like hack into a computer to give like a security card access to a certain place in the casino. And then you're playing as Sev, who's like disguised as a waitress, who has to like go down to the armory and stuff to like get all the weapons and stuff. And then you play as like Case, and that's where like the standard like linear run and gun stuff is. There's like quite a few missions like that, and there's also like 2 mind-bending fuckery missions that I think are like top 10 COD missions of all time, at least top 15. So for the first one, you're basically like exposed to like this drug, the Cradle. You're playing as Case, and you're exposed to like the Cradle in this like facility, and you're like fighting all these like zombies and mannequins and stuff, and it's like amazing. It's like really fun. It's not too hard. And when you fight this is a spoiler by the way, they play 115 during one of the zombie encounters, and it was so fucking good. I felt like I was on like just rush nostalgia. And then the second mindfuckery mission was more like with another character, Jane Harrow, where she's like kind of drugged like Bell, and you gotta like explore her memories and stuff. in order to like find out about stuff. I'm gonna get into her in a bit. That's gonna be like spoilers with her, but I'm gonna get into her a bit. But yeah, I like that stuff. That was awesome. Um, and yeah, the campaign story was pretty cool actually, and I think the time period was utilized decently, maybe a bit better, but I don't really have much complaints for it. No one really plays, like, if you want a COD campaign that really like takes advantage of the time period set in, just go play Black Ops 1 with all the Vietnam stuff. That's the best you're gonna get. Next, I want to get on to the characters. There's gonna be like 2 spoilers for 2 characters, but I just want to get my thoughts out on the characters. So first, I want to talk about our playable character, Case. Case is just a silent protagonist like Bell. You don't really get much from him. You do get those like dialogue options from Cold War. And oh shit, right, the dialogue options. Oh yeah, Vorkuta is also like a place. It is like one of the last 2 missions, and you can like go around and like do all like the stuff your way. You have multiple ways to complete the objective. You can either like blow everything up or like sabotage stuff in different creative ways. And you can also like use like this thing called Keen Eye to like look around at stuff in order to like persuade the guards and military like personnel to let you do whatever that you want. That was cool. And then like the run and gun mission of the second half for Vorkuta, you're like running directly through one of the parts in the original Black Ops 1 campaign, and I was just like taking a trip down memory lane. That was also cool. There's like a lot of Black Ops callbacks in this game. I'm just gonna say right now, this game feels like a Black Ops love letter, and I'm all for it. So yeah, but that's Case. There's not really much to him. He's just your standard silent protagonist, and you basically tell him what to say without ever hearing it. Next I want to get into Marshall. Marshall is regarded as Wood's protege, and I love the relationship they have. Where Marshall is like more like calm, conserved, and collective. He knows how to do things. He's like a field agent, and Woods is this more rugged, experienced man who's not afraid to get his hands dirty. I like Sev a lot, actually. At first, when they were describing Sev, I was gonna worried Sev was gonna feel like a really unnecessary character, but I actually really enjoyed Sev. I thought she was really like a funny character. I thought she was very useful. I liked her backstory about like the guild stuff. Next is Felix. I did like how Felix was like basically coming out of retirement like a John Wick character. That was really, really cool. And then we got our main man, Adler. And, well, we got a few more actually, but these next few are going to be spoilers. So we got Adler coming back. Adler was framed for the whole Panama incident, and it's kind of unclear who, but by the end you're led to believe that it was one of the other characters working with Pathian that framed Adler for the Panama incident. Adler is basically the same as like in Cold War, you know, doing things his way off the books. He's just a complete badass. And I want to get into Woods now. In the last game, Cold War, it felt like Woods wasn't really Woods. But in this game, that is used a lot better. It definitely feels more like Woods. You kind of like get around the safe house, you get to see him like how he like interacts with his environment being wheelchair bound. You get an insight into how he kind of feels like a little useless and about how much he like hates his fucking life because he's in the wheelchair. But he's also resilient. I feel like this whole campaign like basically helps him like get back into like the playing field, and it's like that like boost of confidence he really needed after losing his best friend and, you know, Hudson. Here we gonna get into spoilers. So 2 characters do return from Cold War. You have Park and you have Sims. Park shows up in the open world and Saddam Hussein mission, and something just felt off about Park to me. I haven't played Cold War's campaign in a few years, but her voice just sounded a bit off to me, and she just was kind of there. However, Sims though. Sims was fucking great. He like joined the military and he's like more of a by the books guy now. So it's like a point of contention throughout the mission. Like Sims is trying to like follow the rules of engagement, while Adler's like this bad boy who's breaking all the rules. I really liked the interaction between Sims and Adler. That was cool. They both only show up for like one mission, and they're both in Middle Eastern like centric missions. But it was still nice to see them anyway. And that also does clarify that saving Park over Lazar is the canon option for Black Ops Cold War. Now, this is going to be a heavy spoiler, so skip ahead, like, I want to say, like, 30 seconds, for this next one. So, here we go. Jane Harrow is, like, Adler's protege, but, you know, because of, like, the Pantheon, they led her to believe that Adler killed her parents. And so now she's working for them to, like, make America and the CIA pay back for all the things they took from her. Alright, hopefully that is, like, 30 seconds or something. I don't know. But that's basically about, Jane Harrow. Let's see. Okay. This is going to be a huge spoiler. This game also does tell us what the canon ending of Black Ops 2 is. So I would skip ahead 30 seconds for this, alright? So, the way they confirm this is that at the end of the campaign, we're shown that Alex Mason is alive and working undercover for the CIA. That's really it. So Mason is alive, the truth lies, you're welcome. Also, one last thing about Woods is I really like that one conversation you can have with him in the safe house about him talking about raising David. That was like a really nice, like, touching moment. Alright, let's get into gameplay. So, this campaign has your linear, like, run and gun and shoot missions where you're just kind of mindlessly blowing enemies' brains out. But, like I said, you also have those, like, free roam, like, kind of open world, but also, like, confined missions, sort of like Cold War. And you have a singular open world mission from, like, MW3. I thought these all blended very well together and prevented the campaign from feeling, like, stale or repetitive. And I think the weapons were really cool. I think the enemy types were pretty cool. You had the normal infantry, you had riot shielders, you had armored shotgunners, you had like gas and like chemical weapon enemies, and then you had juggernauts. And all of these enemies combined together made for just a really fun gameplay loop. I really, really love that. And yeah, that's how I could really describe Black Ops 6. I just really loved it. Go play it yourself, it's worth it. Like, this campaign is like nearly double the length of Cold War. It's like, took me nearly 10 hours to beat the game. So yeah, that's really it. I would give this campaign an 8 out of 10. And let's get on with the Black Ops games rankings. So obviously number 7 for the ranking is going to be Black Ops 4 because it doesn't have a campaign. Number 6 is going to be Black Ops 3 because I shouldn't need to look up a guide to figure out the main story. Next is going to be Cold War's campaign. I thought it was really fun, a nice return to form, but that final mission really brought everything down for me. Next, I'm gonna say World at War. I have nothing against World at War. I think it does a great job at reflecting World War II, but I just couldn't get attached to any character outside of Reznov. Whereas with Black Ops 6, I really like the world building, the gameplay, all the missions, but I also connected with the characters more. So Black Ops 6 is then gonna be number 3. Number 2, I'm gonna put it Black Ops 1. Mainly because I feel like there's like some missions in that game I would like just skip, mainly like Numbers, or no, Project Nova, the Reznov flashback mission. I usually find myself skipping that mission, so that's why it's not. And number 1 is Black Ops 2 because I just love the variety of like mission settings, weaponry, and character. So yeah, there are my thoughts on Black Ops 6. There are my thoughts on all the Treyarch campaigns. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. And for those of you who are waiting for my next Fierce Fathom video, you're going to have to wait another week for that. I'm sorry, but it'll be out eventually. Thank you, and goodbye.